Don't panic, I'm not going to start philosophising again. Last week's video was a bit of a philosophical and thoughtful reflection on how moving from the house to the boat has made us think about life. This week's video, you'll be pleased to know, is the exact opposite. No deep thinking, just cracking on with boat work. And next week's video is a down-to-earth, grassroots look at how we're settling into living aboard. Now, the reason this video about making our cockpit enclosure is this week is because we had to halt our moving plans for a couple of days because these were the only 2 days Nigel had to come and help me work on the enclosure. So if it seems a bit strange that we've dropped this fabrication video in the middle of the move, that's why. So the reason I've just done that is because Nigel is about to arrive with Andy, I think, and we should be building the first part of the stainless steel structure for our cockpit enclosure today. And if you're new to the channel, here's a little update. I'm Andy, and with my wife Melissa and our son Jack and our other little boy Oliver, who's 14 weeks old, we're setting off on this boat to go off on a very, very slow circumnavigation of the globe. We were building a steel boat to fit the three of us. And then Melissa got pregnant, we had another son, so we've now got, we've upgraded to a bigger boat, and we've still got the steel one which we're going to be working on and finishing as well before we leave, or at least getting in the water before we leave. So that gives you an intro to the channel, and what we're doing currently is putting a cockpit enclosure on so that we've got some protection for the winter and protection from the sun in the summer. Now, Nigel's been building the cockpit enclosure in his workshop, and it's mostly constructed, so all the hard fabricating is done. What he's going to do is bring the whole lot here with the legs, and I think we're going to tack the legs in place, and then he's going to TIG weld them. Now, TIG welding doesn't create any sparks, and there should be minimal grinding and what have you to do, but to protect everybody, our boat and everybody else's, I'm laying down as many tarps and cloths as possible just to make sure that we don't damage anybody's gel coat or anything like that. Slightly childishly, unreasonably excited about this. Here it is. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. That's a thing, isn't it? Yeah. That's a thing of beauty. How much did it weigh?
Not much at all.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite light, easy. Both of us will pick up no problem at all.
Fantastic. It's not going to take long to get the legs tacked onto this, is it?
No, I can't see it being a problem at all.
And there's just a little bit of camber in the roof. Just at 15 degrees, or 5 degrees, I think he even said.
One of them to walk towards the aft.
There we go. And we'll... Hello. Yeah, for gussets and stuff. Yeah. Mate, I'm just grinning from ear to ear since I've seen it.
It's going to look brilliant.
It's a hell of a curve, really, isn't it? It's more than you think. I mean, is that a circle?
It's half a circle. Yeah, my thoughts are, if we get that ring on there first, if we go for that ring, which hopefully if we crack on, that wouldn't take too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that, I mean, they're 6 mil thick. They're perfect, they're gorgeous.
Oh, I see there for the feet.
For the feet?
Yes, yes.
Draw around that, cut it out with your multi-tool, like you said.
Yeah.
But that narrower stuff, these are the tabs for the edge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have warned you I was going off camera.
No, no, it's fine.
Steven Spielberg, I am not. Yeah, so...
I see, so those are the smaller ones.
So these are the smaller ones. And so if we have a look where they'll go, to go on here. Now I've done them over length, we can cut them to whatever length we want. Because if we want one, say here, we can just mark on the back where it's flush with this. But it won't be flush because of the tube. And we'll put the tube on and we'll have a look how far up.
And do they go inside the tube or on the outside of the tube?
Just on, well, you can have them on the inside or the outside. I think.
No, I mean do they go up the inside of the leg? Or do they go on the, to the outside?
They don't go on the leg.
Go on the bottom.
That ring.
Oh, they go on the bottom ring. Yep. Okay, I'm with you.
So all these are doing is securing that ring around here. So I'm thinking maybe one near this back end, maybe one here.
Yeah.
Same on the other side.
Yeah.
And I think that would be enough. Do you want it? Oh, right, you want a gap?
Well, if we offer
I don't mind.
Look and see how it goes.
What's this? Yeah, see how it...
Because I think you were talking about the cloth coming down to these, weren't you?
We'll see. We'll make that decision when we've got it on.
Yeah, but if you don't leave a gap, you'll not get cloth under it if you want cloth under it.
5 mils to a centimetre clear.
Yes.
You can at least get a cloth underneath it and get rid of all the crud and
Yeah.
salt when it does start forming.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, leave a tiny little gap, just enough to get cloth under it if we choose to go that way.
I knew it was going to get warm today.
Should we measure twice, cut once?
No, I can do it there. We
Yeah.
get the bolt in there, but it's going to be longer.
Should we just measure just in case? Because in case we got that completely cockeyed. There in a straight line to 40.
480.
480 in a straight line. This one in a straight line to the centre, is it?
That was to the centre.
Yeah, 480. I tell you what, it's good to have mates like this.
Yeah, I would. I'd get the legs on.
Yeah, at the back and in the middle. You mark out then where you want the feet, and I'll use my multi-tool to cut out the wood.
These back plates, we
Yeah.
can put them where the best place is, which is, let's not go there because you've obviously, there's some sort of fixing there.
Yeah.
If we went there,
Yeah.
well, the middle of, this isn't in the middle either, is it? The middle of this, the fiberglass is there.
In the middle of the fiberglass, yeah.
So I would go.
Because I may well end up replacing this timber completely. I'll let you draw around it, because then it's your fault if it's wrong. Yeah, I'll cut it.
Hold on, you might have some.
Would you not be able to get these further back, which give you more room for getting in and out then?
What, are you thinking putting them actually on, putting the back legs on here?
Yeah, how far back do you want your forward and hoof level to be?
The main thing that people commented on is when you've got this sheeted across like this, what must not happen is that the rope, when you've got it sheeted out, has got to clear the back corner. We've confirmed that regardless of what happens, the main sheet, even on the full end of the track, in a crash jibe, is going to easily clear this back corner. That's not an issue at all. What we're deciding is whether to put the back foot on the coaming here or on the rear coach roof, and we're thinking on the rear coach roof. With the main sheet all the way across, and I will demonstrate for the sake of the camera, with the main sheet all the way across
Obviously,
here.
it's not going to be here, it's going to be more like here.
Yeah. And the sheet full extension and the boom all the way across out here. Even in a crash jibe, the main sheet isn't going to catch the corner of the cockpit enclosure.
So, is it better to put these
I think, yeah,
on
up here.
Because I think that ends up somewhere in the companionway.
Yeah, and it gives you a bigger space.
Hold on, give me credit for companionway.
Yeah. Credit
I'm
for
learning.
companion, definitely.
So if that's there, I think we'd be able to switch it out for bolts later on.
And it means that you've got something to hold on to here
It's
and
gonna
a
be a bit more work.
bigger space to step through.
keeps all
The
this
foot where
clear
you're
so
looking to
you
put
don't
something.
see everything else.
I'd want
Absolutely.
an upright from the foot, pretty much to the corner node, and then put a secondary brace in it coming in. I'd lean the aft legs out a bit, and then it gives you a bit more. Yeah.
Oh, actually, take these legs actually splayed outwards slightly.
Yeah, and then put a secondary one part way inboard, just up 4 or 5 inches from the base. I'd just lift it up now, a couple of strings, have a look at it, and if we're happy, put the points at the back.
I don't think we've got a choice. Because any further back from this,
It's going to catch the
it's
main
gonna
sheet.
catch.
Right.
The only way to have got round that would have been to put radiuses there. But
Or even 50p'd it.
what's worrying me now, look, is when you look at this from the front,
Yeah.
it's dead vertical. When you look at this from the side, in fact the front's actually out forward of the.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's slightly back.
And then the other thing is, of course, we want to have a very slight slope forwards, don't we? So that any rain that lands on it runs off forwards, doesn't run backwards and straight onto the helmsman's head. because if you stood at the wheel and all the water's coming straight down onto your head,
Yeah.
that's going to be annoying at best. We're just talking about having a little bit of forward slope on it.
Yeah.
But come and have a stand here and see if you think that we've got the right amount or too much or not enough. I think it's just about right.
Because of the boom, I think we're going to have to set the
If
back.
you can see it, it's more than enough.
So what I would do is get this one, just fix it, just on a couple of tacks,
Yeah.
and then we just need 2 legs down there.
And then it's self-supporting.
Self-supporting then.
Yeah, lovely. Right, it's the next morning. Look at this, the sun's out, it's beautiful, it's warm, it's sunny, and the whole structure is looking absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I'm really happy, I think, because the whole idea of this was we knew what we wanted for the top.
Yeah.
Which was this double rail around with the curved front to match the enclosure there.
Yeah.
But as for the legs and where we were going to put them and what angle, I mean, earlier on in the video they'll have seen where we were discussing, do we have it on your wooden rail there, or do we have it actually on
the rear coach roof? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's worked out really well.
Fantastic,
because,
yeah.
and it was Andy's idea. The other Andy, he's not here today. He's gone off doing other stuff. But it was his idea to have them, leave them coming out naturally to the same angle as the coach roof, which gave us that triangulation then that way.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly sturdy.
It's amazing,
even though it's
isn't it?
only got 2 tacks on each joint.
Yeah, it's really rigid.
It's really, really rigid. So once that's fully welded, and we've also then welded these extra 2 legs in.
Yeah.
And bear in mind as well, the fixings are only temporary as well, because they've not been flexed. It's not had the bolts through.
No.
There's no solid.
No, there's nothing solid.
And yet it's which just shows that I think we got the design right as to where to have the legs, what angle to have the legs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we might still put some stiffeners in places, because the stiffer it is, the better, isn't it? You know,
yeah. We've got some of that polished flat bar that we can use for triangulation and stiffeners. And the other thing that is, Nigel's going to come back, I think, in early September. So Melissa and I will live with this for a couple of weeks and look at, we could do with a grab handle there or something here or whatever. And then in September, we can make any further modifications to that. And in the meantime, I'm going to start working on the fiberglass lid that's going on the top of this. So we'll have a fiberglass tray on the top, which will hold our solar panels and be our water catcher, and then we'll have roll-up fabric sides to fully enclose the whole thing. We just had the tarpaulin over, didn't we? It was too hot.
And if the wind picks up later, we'll have to put the tarpaulin back over again, just to.
But for now,
because you can't weld in the wind. But the heat in there just.
It was like a greenhouse.
It was. Yeah. But even in winter, with them sides down.
Yeah.
I think it'll be surprisingly warm.
I think it'll be very, very warm.
790 to the inside. drop that down, screw it back down. In the meantime, I'll weld the other half of them brackets over there. The reason I'm switching backwards and forwards is them brackets, we don't want to unbolt them and lift them up. It'll be a massive pain in the arse. A good distance off the actual fiberglass. So I'm welding half. There won't be enough heat then to do any cause any issues. If I welded the whole bracket, there just might be. So by welding half, letting it cool and welding the other half, it just saves having to unbolt those brackets.
Yeah.
This one, it's unavoidable because it's touching the actual fiberglass.
Yeah.
Even with a weld that size now, that would rip the tube before it broke the weld.
The thing is,
Ow, that was my shin.
the thing is, the thing is, the thing is, the thing is,
Of course, even though there's no sparks or anything from TIG, it's still common sense to do a 1 hour fire watch.
Oh yeah.
When you're working on anything really where there's a potential. Like, so if any of your viewers are wondering, you know, we're not going to weld this
And walk away.
and then bugger off. Oh, we've let the...
Yeah, there you go. That's why, because the metal's hot, so that has lent against that and just melted a bit of the plastic.
Yeah, and it smells horrible. But yeah, you'd still, even though there's no sparks off it and we can see what's going on here, you would do a 1 hour fire watch afterwards, just to be on the absolute.
Well, I'm going to be here for
100%.
at least a couple of hours tidying up after you've gone, so I'm not leaving the boat until this is all stone cold.
We'll see what that leg is at the other end now, because if that's cool enough, we'll drop that down, fix it on, and we'll lift that corner up.
Yeah. Stand it up there. You're using a pair of mole grips clamped onto the frame to hold the tarpaulin away from the hot metal.
You do get yourself into some funny positions
Yeah.
when you're welding.
I don't know much about them, the Warrams, but what I will say is he's always wanted that boat, and they've got a massively loyal following, and they've got a very good reputation for seakeeping. They've got their reputation as an ocean-going thing is amazing. You know, there's.
He's got so much work to do, though, hasn't he?
He has, but he'll do it. You know.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I've got complete faith in him.
Right, so let's, before I finish, let's get these in here.
Yeah.
These corner pieces in to really finish stiffening it up.
Completely agree.
Once they're in, tacked in, I'll get them welded on. We can pull the tarp back. We'll cut them that excess tube off.
Yes.
And then we can start.
Then we can start packing up for the day.
Before the rain hits us.
Yep.
That looks good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Lovely. Right. Oh, I heard spits of rain then. They look nice. They're not intrusive, are they?
No, not at all. job done.
So yeah, like you say, a plate in there.
And a foot.
Yeah.
So that's it, we're done. The stainless work is all complete. Amazing, thanks to Nigel for the expertise and the time and the effort and everything else. There's going to be more work going on in September on this, finishing off, tidying off the welds. We're going to do as much polishing as we can in the meantime, and we'll live with it for a bit and see if there's any bits that we want to add, extra grab handles or mounts for the Starlink or things like that. So, and then in the meantime as well, planning the fiberglass lid that goes over the whole thing, and we can start templating fabrics and that kind of thing. So, but for now, this is a complete, sturdy, seaworthy, solid.
It's not going anywhere, is it?
It's ridiculous.
And it's not, like you say, it's not even got its permanent fixings in it yet.
No, so all we've done at the moment is drill into the fiberglass, run a tap through and put some M8 bolts directly into the fiberglass. What we're going to do is drill through and put big backing plates and nuts on the back as the permanent thing. But Nigel doesn't need to, we don't need Nigel to take up more of Nigel's time doing that. But, and even as it is, it's perfectly strong enough and will probably be fine forever.
It's nice seeing the video, because we've talked about this quite a few times, about having this this cover over the cockpit, and designs have changed here and there, and talking about it. And what's really nice is seeing it on and actually seeing now the ideas that they've had, you know.
Well, ideas that we've had and ideas that you guys have had as well, because we've had a lot of input from different people saying that's going to look terrible, that's going to work, that's not. And yeah, so thanks for your input and your comments. And as always, we're coming to the end of the video, so let's use that. Please leave us a like if you enjoyed the video, and please leave us a comment, and if you're not already subscribed, please do. And thanks as always to our amazing patrons who are on the screen, going up the middle of the screen now between me and Nigel. There's a list of patrons going up the middle. There you go.
Very important people.
Yeah, very important people. So thanks again to you guys and anybody that's donated through Coffee and PayPal. And yeah, and thanks of course as always to Nigel, just blown away.
And if you want to see some of this being built,
oh yes,
of course, check out my channel.
Go over and subscribe to Nigel's channel and support him over there as well. So links on the screen, along the bottom of the screen now for Nigel's channel. And see you next time, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.